On this episode of the Layover Live, Sandy Jordan stops by to talk content marketing and how it's growing up. Hey Sandy, we need to properly track things. So can you just give us permission real quick before we get started? Yeah.
Oh, you mean like up here?
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 36 of the Layover Live. We're bringing the top article from the Layover each week. I'm Jason Swick, VP of Digital Marketing, and I'm joined by Sandy Jordan, Director of Content Marketing. Sandy, thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
I know we were joking about permission marketing, but
Yeah.
it's if you're like me, I'm kind of sick of doing those, but it's for a good cause, right?
Sure. Yep.
We're trying to clean up marketing. Marketing's really grown up.
Yes.
And the article of the week that we're going to talk about this week is GDPR means content marketing has grown up, comes to us from Noteworthy. It's a really, really, really good article that talks about really permission marketing. But I think before we get into that permission marketing piece, Sandy, let's talk about maybe the three core ideas behind GDPR.
Sure,
right?
Absolutely. And it's so important because it can end up being a fine that's like 4% of your total revenue.
Right.
So it's something that we absolutely have to pay attention to. But when we look at what's most important about these regulations, first it's being able to tell a user what we have on them.
Yep.
So being able to go to our database and say, I have this information about Jason Swick, and I'm going to let you know exactly what I'm going to do with it. So that brings us to point number 2, right?
Yep.
So we have to be completely transparent about the way we market to Jason, for example.
Right.
He has to know exactly the way that we're going to use that information.
Right.
And we also have to tell you what you're going to get. So no bait and switch. We can't say we're going to give you one thing, take your information, and then give you something completely different.
Right, and all in all, it's really it's a good thing for marketing because it cleans things up, right?
Absolutely.
It's a good thing for the end user then because it's a very transparent relationship,
Yeah.
which talks about permission marketing, right? It's really a quality versus quantity type mentality, which is really good anyways. And the article actually references a really good article from Seth Godin from back in the day.
Yeah.
Where he kind of makes these really, really good points about permission marketing.
Right.
It's about growing and nurturing a relationship with somebody. So maybe as we move into this new era of content marketing, what are some of the things that Seth points out?
Yeah, and permission marketing, that really developed into content marketing.
Right.
And Seth Godin was talking about this 20 years ago. So it's not a new concept, but it's something that we embrace even more today because as consumers, we get bombarded with all kinds of junk and other marketers' intentions and their expectations of what you want to see in your inbox. Rarely does that match exactly what we want to see. So when you're putting out that content, you have to think about things like personalization. So personalization is really not just putting in a name in a field from a database. Personalization is using tools like Act-On to figure out what have these users been interacting with on the website. So what content can I take from my website and make even better and have this very personal message that goes out to the user. So we also have to think about relevancy, right? Because we want all this content to inspire, to get people excited. When we think about human emotion, we all touchy-feely, right? So at this point, we want to make sure that our content is reflecting that. So looking at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, making sure that our content falls somewhere within that pyramid to really inspire and get that lizard mind going, get people excited about the content that we're pushing out. And then finally, creating a sense of anticipation, making sure that a user is excited every single time that touch point happens, because that's your opportunity for that second date, essentially, or the third date, or getting them more intrigued with your content so that they do take an action like come to the destination and spend money.
Yeah, absolutely, and Sandy, that's perfectly said. And I think as we start to look at this also, and we start to look at our databases now and what we've collected on folks, as we go through and scrub these lists, it means also that we're going to have to say goodbye to some contacts and lose some contacts that maybe we don't have permission for, or maybe haven't engaged with our brand for a long time. And that's a good thing, right?
That's an excellent thing, because if they're not engaging with you, why are we wasting our time on them?
Right.
We looked at those metrics for a long time, and that was like the core of what we focused on. We want this list to be bigger and bigger and bigger. We don't really care how it performs so much.
Yeah.
Now we have to start changing our mentality towards that. It's not just the size of your list, it's the quality of the content and what you get back from that list.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Sandy. That's very well said. So again, it's about quality over quantity. Right. It's about delivering the right message to the right person at the right time with their permission, being transparent. Thanks, Sandy, for sharing that. Yeah. Really, really good article, noteworthy, guys. Please check it out this week. It's why we chose it for Article of the Week. Thank you so much for stopping by, Sandy. Thank you, folks. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.